Hello. Welcome to the Pitchy Podcast. We're your hosts, James
and Stephanie.
Here on the Pitchy Podcast, we are passionate about good music and a great vocal. We'll use the vehicle of NBC's The Voice, give you our take and feedback on each contestant and their overall performance. Here on the Pitchy Podcast, we'll keep it 100 with our feedback and critique of each contestant's vocal and overall performance. But what we're never here to do is come for anyone's character or any contestant as a human being, even though we come off a little pitchy at times. If you know what I mean, we'll always do our best to speak our truths with love, kindness, and respect. And with that, we are about to jump into night 3 of the Battle Royale called NBC's The Voice. Now, as you all can see, if you follow the Pitchy Podcast, there's a couple of things that are different. Our surroundings are a little different on my side, even though I am matching wallpaper. No, I am not with Stephanie in her house. I'm actually very far away from Stephanie. And I came to see about a mouse while, just to give you all a clue as to where I am. I came to see about a mouse. So, as you can see, there's no, I am on vacation currently on spring break with my family for a little R&R, but we couldn't let you all down. I mean, Pitchy Podcast don't stop. For one monkey don't stop no show, okay?
Right.
So Pitchy Podcast is here for you, and I just had to bring a few pieces of equipment with me, and here we are. Now, the other thing is different. I don't think I've ever done anything without my glasses on.
It's been a minute if you have.
If I have, yeah, it's probably gone back 3 seasons or so.
Right.
But, hey, I'm on vacation. I don't care. Okay?
Wait, what does vacation have to do with your glasses?
I may have forgotten them.
Oh! That's like me saying I'm on vacation, I'm not going to wear my contacts. I'm like, what does that have to do with it?
Y'all gotta excuse my voice a little bit. Stephanie and I did a little holleration this past Sunday, and I'm still recovering from the holleration that we had.
Me too.
On this Palm Sunday at church. But Stephanie and I nonetheless had a blessed time in the Lord.
Yes, we did. Yes.
So without further ado,
hold on. 2 quick pieces of info. I too am on spring break, but mine is not relaxing. My children are at home.
Stephanie, what happened when I called you this morning?
He was like, he heard the kids in the background. He was like, oh, wait, this is spring break. I was like, yeah, bro, why you think you on vacation right now? Mine just looks a little different in that it's not vacation. It's like extra hard because my kids are at home, but we're having a good time. So it's been great. It's a more relaxed schedule. Thing number 2, we would be remiss, being from the area, to give our prayers, our sympathies to everyone with the tragedy at the
Francis Scott Key Bridge.
At the Key Bridge. Thank you very much.
Yes. I am not home, but to wake up with this type of news of it coming from really down the street from where Stephanie and I reside in the greater Baltimore area was shocking.
Yeah.
It is tragic. I have seen, and I'm sure Stephanie has seen, some of the raw footage that is terrifying. And like Stephanie said, we're not about thoughts and prayers here, but because I'm all for, personally, I can't speak for Stephanie, but I can speak for myself. I'm about action, and I'm about this type of tragedy never happening again, and I'm about honoring the people that perished in this tragedy.
Amen.
And lifting their families up.
Yeah, truly.
Point blank, period. Because right now, people who are suffering with this insurmountable tragedy don't want to hear about thoughts and prayers.
That's
frankly.
Right.
And that's not us being mean, but that's just us being real. Okay?
Absolutely.
We always try to keep it real with you all.
Absolutely.
So if you can, just lift up the families and none of us were hurt. I did get a bunch of text messages, and people who live in other parts of the country are like, is that your commute? Are you all okay?
Right.
And, I'm on vacation, but this is literally right down the road from Stephanie. So it's it hits pretty close to home.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Stephanie, for
absolutely
for that remembrance.
Absolutely.
That's what we want to do at this point.
Absolutely. And lastly, if you do hear pitter patter of feet, that is my son above me.
And if you hear pitter patter of feet, that is my father below me.
All right, there we go. All the disclaimers are gone. Let's get into the episode.
Okay, so last night we had a very full episode, Stephanie.
Yes.
You know, we are in the, I think we're towards the end of the battles, but we are still deep in the throes of the battles.
That's right.
And so I had not watched, because obviously just us getting into our vacation and arriving last evening, I asked Stephanie, I said, Stephanie, I don't want you to tell me anything. Just tell me, was it good? And she said, yeah.
It was good.
It was good.
It was good.
And I agree with her, but
it was good.
I don't disagree with her on many things. And when I do, Stephanie tells me about it.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
So our first group was some country boys.
Yes.
With Donny, Dr. Donny, as we like to call him, and
yes.
Mr. Josh. And this was When It Rain, It Pours by Luke Combs.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
I don't know why I just made that announcement, because Stephanie usually makes the announcements, but
hey,
we'll go with it.
We'll go with it.
So Stephanie, I thought both artists started out smooth. Like, I thought it was really, really smooth intros for both of them. And I was like, okay, these two gentlemen are in their element.
Yes.
I said, I love how they both have a different type of holler in their voice, but they both have holler in their voice. And I love it. And I was really excited to hear what both of them were going to do with it, because I both know that they had that grit and holler in their voice.
Right.
I said, what I love from Dr. Donny the best, or the most, is that he is such a storyteller.
Truly.
I said that one look he gave before that spin, like it was more than what the coaches talked about. I thought it was almost like a part of the story.
Right.
And it made me more interested in a song again that I've never heard of.
Right.
And it made me like really listen to not only what he was doing, but what he was they were more importantly singing about.
Right.
I love, that Josh. Did you hear those runs?
Yes, I did.
I was like, yo.
Yes, I did.
These runs are fire. Yo, listen to the similarities between country and R&B singing. It is a fine, just ask Chris Stapleton. It is
cousins.
A very, very thin line.
Cousins.
It's and not just, that's my cousin. No, not just play cousins.
No, blood.
That's first cousins.
Yes.
Their parents are siblings. Okay?
Yeah. They mommies or sisters.
I said, it's daddies are brothers.
Yeah.
Okay? But I thought Josh's runs were fire, but then if you listen, Donny put some runs in there too.
Yes, he did.
Like the way he came off of a few of those phrases, I just was like, yo, I did not have a clear-cut winner for this battle.
Right.
I thought they both were just spectacular.
Right.
To me, I feel, and this is just personal feeling, Stephanie, that Donny is the more raw talent, but Josh is as sharp as a knife. If you understand those comparisons.
Yes.
Like, you really can't compare them.
No.
They're singing, they have similar styles in their voice. Voices are different, but I just feel like that Donny is more of a raw talent, while Josh don't miss.
No, that's perfection. Right? That's absolutely right.
All right, so that's my take. Stephanie?
Yeah, so I'm going to piggyback right off of that, because I don't have much different to say, maybe just in different language. So it felt like Donny was more... He had more of a fun approach to the song, right? He had more personality, more character, the turn. He was very intentional with his eye contact.
Yes.
His presentation of the song was much lighter, right? While it was interesting because it looked like Donny and Josh had a connection, like that they became, and they said as much in the Be Real that they had become real close friends. It almost, and this is not a diss, and this is not like a knock on Josh, but it almost felt like they had practiced it one way, but then once they got on stage, Josh took like a more serious approach to it.
Yeah.
Because I felt like Josh was all business about this song. Like, I put down like he was the pro. Like, everything was very controlled, very business, but not in a stiff way. He took more of an emotional approach to the song, like a more internal approach.
Right.
So there was just a difference in their approaches to the song. Neither was right, neither was wrong, neither was better than the other. It was just different approaches. Both of their voices, like just on voice alone, I couldn't pick. Even on styling, like the way that they chose to present the song, I couldn't pick. Like it was a pick 'em for me.
It's
like
a draw.
It was a draw. What was interesting about Josh's voice, I heard like kind of like what you were saying, but I heard like Southern preacher. Like when the preacher starts to sing and he wants the choir to come in and he starts singing, like that's what he sounded like. Like there was that sound in his throat. That was really cool to hear. But again, it was a pick 'em.
Like, okay.
Yeah. It was really a pick 'em for me. Like I thought that they both did an excellent job with the song.
So, I can't, even though I just watched it today, I can't think of how it turned out. But I do. I remember. Okay. Yeah. This one was good. So who did Reba pick?
She picked Josh to be the winner.
I was shocked.
You were?
I was shocked.
You thought she was going to pick Donny?
I really did.
Okay.
I really, really did.
But you know why? Here's why I was not shocked.
Why?
Because Reba is all about the emotion and the emotional connection. Right. And Josh shared that this song reminded him of the unfortunate passing of his son. And that's what he channeled when he was thinking about this song. So I think because Reba thought that he probably took a more serious approach to the song, where Donny's was a little bit more fun, I think that she was able to connect with Josh and the emotion rather than how Donny presented the song.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that now. Thanks for that clarification, because I didn't see it. Yeah. But that's, again, just personal preference, right?
Absolutely.
Right. Okay,
absolutely.
Awesome. All right, so who do we have next?
Next up was from Team Legend. We had Gene Taylor versus Ronnie Wilson, and they sang When I Was Your Man by Bruno Mars.
Okay. I was like, when I saw this pairing, I said, I know I'm going to write a book.
Yeah.
Because these are two of my favorite voices on this season.
Yeah.
To John's point, and I was like, how do I say this? And John Legend said it perfectly in the Be Real. He said, these are two strong male tenors.
Absolutely.
They can do stuff with their voice that I just wish I could do.
Absolutely.
And you know what, y'all? I'm going to keep it real with y'all for a second with my own self. You know, I play a tenor on TV. Yeah. And Stephanie will tell you, I got tenor, but I fake it really, really well. Mm-hmm. That's because I trained as a tenor. I trained as a baritone and then switched in my, I think, junior or senior year of college into tenor repertoire because my voice teacher was like, you're a tenor.
Right.
And so I can dabble in both, but only a few people like Stephanie know what I prefer to sing.
Yes.
But maybe a couple holleration notes here and there.
Yeah.
But she knows where I prefer to sing.
Oh yeah.
With saying that, I was like, I know I'm gonna write a lot about these two guys. I said I hate them both because that was some of the most effortless singing I've heard on this show. Period.
Right.
Not just this season. This show. Period.
Absolutely.
Effortless. Mm-hmm. I thought, even though they have two totally different voices, I thought the execution on both sides of the singing was some flawless singing.
Absolutely.
For their own respective things. And I said, okay, that's number one. Number two, both ranges were insane.
Insane.
But then this was, I was trying to think, I was like, how am I going to put this into words, Stephanie? And I think you can help me if I don't communicate this the correct way. Mm-hmm. I said they did a very, very unique amazing thing that I don't think I've ever seen on the battles of this show, where they did, let me see if I get this right. They were both very gracious
Mm-hmm.
at letting each other shine, but then they weren't.
Mm.
Meaning there were parts where it was a duet, but then there were other parts where it was a battle.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
absolutely.
talking about knock 'em out, dirty knife fight
Yes.
battle because of the vocal quality and qualities of their voice, the vocal quality of the performance, the qualities of their voice. So I can't explain it.
It was the arrangement of the song.
Yeah.
The arrangement of the song lent to it. And there were portions, I'm sorry, I don't mean to jump in, but just to solidify that point, there were portions of the song where one artist would sing a note and then the other artist would sing a note a little bit higher. And that's just how the song goes. But the way they stacked sometimes lent it more to like battle. But then there were portions where it was like a more joint effort, and that was more duet.
Stephanie, I knew she would eloquently put it for the way I was feeling, with the eloquence of her explanation. But for real, you all, I wrote, it was a battle, then it wasn't, then it was, and then it wasn't, and it just drove me crazy in a good way. Like, I was like, this is nuts. I said, this was another toss-up for me.
This is like Ronnie's song, the song that Ronnie auditioned with. It's a paradise and it's a war zone.
Yeah, it's crazy. I said, it's a toss-up, but if we're talking personal preference, I said Gene for me may have had a slight edge, maybe because of the whole Steve Perry sounding tone in his voice. Gene's voice is just so 80s rock tenor, that voice that I just am just like sitting there in awe every time they open their mouth.
Okay.
I said his voice is extraordinary.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but Ronnie's voice is water, it's silk, it's smooth as butter.
Yes.
Like, that's what was so crazy about this.
Yeah.
I said, even though I had a preference, Stephanie, it was a toss-up.
Mm-hmm.
Toss up, toss out. They could have both gone through and I've been happy.
Right. Right. So I was really shocked by Gene's voice this evening.
Yeah.
Because I heard something very different than what I heard.
Really?
Oh. I heard 60s, 70s doo-wop. I heard Temptations. Did you hear all that vibrato in his voice? He sounded like Temptations throwback doo-wop soul. And I was just like, yo, like this very classic old school sound. And I was like, yo, this lets me know that this dude can literally sing anything, because he sounded Steve Perry in the blinds. And now he's sounding like this in the battles. It was so crazy. But dang the range, dang the execution, just the perfection of what he was doing. He did this thing that you talked about. I forget whether it was with Gene or with somebody else, but that his vowels were open at the ends of his phrases. And I was just like, yeah. How can you sing this perfect? And then we had Ronnie. I was like, Ronnie, are you the missing singer from Boys to Men? Or like just the 90s, 2000s R&B deliciousness of his voice was so solid, so beautiful. The runs he was doing, the range Ronnie had, I was like, dude, like the cry in his voice, the inflections that he did, the break in his voice. I was like, this ain't fair. I don't like this battle. This ain't fair, because I don't want to choose. I didn't like it, and I loved it all at the same time.
Who was it Chance who was standing up, like giving standing ovations before they even got through?
Probably, because that's how. Yes, that sounds like Chance, because he really be getting into these performances, and I love that about Chance. Like, he be cheering these folks on when he be hearing something that he likes. They're blend together. Come on ears, because their tones, at least in this song, were completely different. But the way that they were able to blend was beautiful. But like you said, it was a duet at times, and it was a battle at times, for sure. And I loved it.
It just didn't do one and then the other. It kept volleying back and forth.
That's right. That's right. I loved it. I loved it.
This was a very creative battle.
Oh, it sure was. It was.
It had a lot to do with the arrangement.
Yes. Cool. Yeah.
So, who won this one?
Jean won.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, to your point, I didn't really notice it as much as you did, but now that I'm looking back, the versatility in Jean is kind of scary.
It's scary.
Like there's another contestant this season, I'm not going to mention their name because y'all can probably figure it out, that has that type of versatility. Another male singer that has a type of versatility that it's going to be I don't know if there's room for both, and but I hope there is, because we're going to hear some of the most ridiculous singing if there's room for both. And I pray that there's room for both.
Please, The Voice.
We need some strong male singers on this show.
Absolutely.
To take this. I love it. Sorry, Steph.
What?
No, I said strong male singers to take this show. You're like, well, give the ladies some love.
Listen, the ladies represent, and that's all right. They gonna represent. Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay. So who do we have next? This was our leak, wasn't it?
This was our leak. This is our leak from Team Dan and Shay. We had Madison Curbelo versus Kyle Schuesler. Kyle, forgive me. Your name is just a tongue twister in my mouth. Kyle Schuesler. And they sang Lucky, parentheses, Suerte, by Jason Mraz.
I love it. I love it. I love that I had all weekend to marinate, even though Stephanie and I just came off of pretty busy weekends, to marinate over this one. I'm glad we got it on Friday, and I got a chance to sit with this one because it was stunning.
Yeah.
It was a stunning laid-back performance, which I love, because a lot of times people associate stunning with bombastic and big and over the top, not over the top in a good way. So I said it's crazy. What was crazy to me from the jump, and we got to see this with last night's show, was how good they already sounded in the rehearsal.
Yes.
Like, I just was like, okay, these two are so dialed in, and they already sound like they're cutting an album.
Right.
At the rehearsal.
Right.
Which is terrifyingly awesome, in my opinion. I said, you know what, let me tell you. And I talked about this with Stephanie last week when we discussed it a little bit. I said, Kyle, he is cool as a cucumber. I said, it's like nothing can deter him. Me. I said, to be this young, to be 19 years young, and to be so chill, so cool. But I got reminded, Kyle's a Southern California guy. It is in their DNA to just be chill.
That's right.
He's like a beach guy.
Yeah.
Like, but he's not like, dude, but he's got that whole chill. Yeah, it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Like nothing, like he sweats nothing.
That's right.
And that can translate sometimes to,
right.
That's not him.
No.
Because this dude is serious. He's a serious singer.
Yes.
Not serious in personality, but a seriously gifted singer. I love the attitude that Madison brings. Attitude, Stephanie and I will tell you, attitude, you could be the greatest singer in the world and have the worst attitude.
Come on.
And Stephanie and I would like side-eye people. We've seen them. We've met them. People who can sing like birds, but then like nasty.
Yeah.
Or just stank. Or whatever. And just like, no. I'm saying all this to say it's refreshing to see someone like Madison who just lights up a room.
Absolutely.
And it's so grateful to be there because, see, when you have a little story, especially a voice story, and a lot of people don't get a voice story or a second chance story like Madison did.
Right.
There's an appreciation. And I
Yeah.
feel like she is just still very appreciative that she, well, number one, got another chance. And number two, she went from, like she said, a no-chair turn. The first time she auditioned to a 4-chair turn.
That's right.
And this is the one who went back and really worked on her craft.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you got to do. Either of them can easily win this competition, Stephanie.
Right.
I love how the guitar and Kyle set the rhythm of the song. You know, so it wasn't percussion that opened the song.
No.
It was guitar and Kyle.
Loved it.
Like it was just very rhythmic. And I was like, ooh. I was like, and there's just so much precision.
Yeah.
I said, the two of them have an incredible chemistry.
Yes.
I said, I'm starting to blush a little bit. It was as if they were together. Now, it felt like they were a couple. And that to me is a connection. Like I always call it the Bradley Gaga connection.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone thought that they were a couple after they did the movie and after they did the Shalala. And Aaron was like, yeah, it's called acting.
That's right. Performing. Absolutely.
Exactly. And I thought the chemistry of them was fire.
Yeah.
I love, there was one verse that Kyle did where he kind of fell off, and it was the lyric "flower in your hair." It just kind of like, and it just faded out. And this goes sometimes against, but I've talked about this before, and it may have been about Kyle. This might be his signature. Like sometimes people will not finish a phrase, but artistically not finish a phrase, and it will be fire. And
yes,
you got to be really good to do this.
Yes,
and he just kind of like fell off, and it was gorgeous. I said Dan and Shay had an incredible note, and I didn't know who the note was until I saw they actually did it live or did the actual battle, and it was for, I believe, Madison, where they said, "Don't back off on your falsetto or your head voice or your high voice on the especially
with the pencil."
Yeah, with the duet parts.
Yes.
Because and I thought Madison, again, because she's a student, you all, she takes everything that everyone gives her as far as not a critique, but as far as a suggestion.
Yeah.
And she goes back and she masters it. And I felt like when she was singing like the high duetted parts in the battle, it was glorious.
Yeah.
The note from Dan and Shay.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought she did it brilliantly.
Oh, yeah.
Stephanie.
Oh, I love this performance.
Yeah,
it was magical. It was so magical. And it felt like they were in love. And we're not trying to talk about like y'all were or whatever, but y'all sold it. And that's what you have to do, especially when you're in a battle or a duet or something like this. You got to sell the story, and y'all sold it. Madison's voice is so bright, so lovely. She sounds like, whether she is or not, whether you see her or not, you can feel the smile in her voice. Like you can feel the sunshine, like one of the coaches described. Her upper range, her upper extension, just like you said, she took that note of really controlling her breath and making sure she had enough breath support for those higher notes. They were glorious. Again, just her tone and her presence and everything about her. This is the second person this season that I'm going to refer to as Tinkerbell, because it just felt like just magical, just beautiful. Kyle. That's how I have to say your name. Kyle. He is understated brilliance. Okay. Understated brilliance. And come on, bilingual. Come on, picking it up for this song and sounding like perfection, sounding like you moonlight in singing Spanish songs and writing Spanish songs. It was incredible. Incredible.
You found a niche, sir. I suggest you Duolingo it up, baby.
Come on.
Because you found a niche, because let me tell you, I would have thought you were a native Spanish speaker.
Oh, absolutely. I was looking at him close, like, do I see where he might have something in the blood? And a little something. No. Way to go with that. Seriously. It was wonderful. His tone, his choices, his dynamics. James, you and I were talking, like you said last week, and we were trying to figure out what it was about Kyle. Mm-hmm. And for me, he reminded me of Alexa from last season, in that every line and every word he sang, there was intention behind the vocal choices that he made. Like everything that came off of his lips was done in a way for a specific reason. Everything was intentional. And I love that. I love that. The last thing I'll say is that I gave James an analogy of cheerleading. And this is going to sound weird, but if you've ever seen male and female cheerleaders, the male is the one at the bottom holding and the firm support and foundation for the female who's doing all the spinny tumbles and jumps and all that. Like, that's not going to go well. Like the woman or the female might be the one doing all the acrobatics and all the stuff that looks fun and shiny or whatever. But if that dude on the bottom is not solid, it's not a solid support, then none of it is going to go well. And that's how I felt this battle was.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. It was stunning.
The circus way of it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad this leaked because to your point about Kyle's understated brilliance, like I don't want Kyle to get lost because he's that good.
Right.
He's that good. And I hope he goes far. And I don't want to lose her light. You know, I don't want to lose Madison's light. Because I love it. I love it.
Right.
Who won this one?
Kyle won. Kyle won. However, this was not the end of
no way.
Madison's journey either. And kind of like, I believe it was Chance that said, no, it might have been John. It was John. Because John, of course, went to steal Madison. But of course, Dan and Shay still had that playoff pass. And so they used it on Madison. And kind of like John said, this is like the most obvious playoff pass ever. Like there was no way they were letting her go. No. There was no way.
No way. No way at all. Yeah, we knew they both weren't going anywhere.
That's right.
Okay, so next we have two lovely ladies.
Yes, we had Bree Fletcher and we had Serenity Arce. They sang "Someone You Love" by Lewis Capaldi.
I love this song.
Love
this song. This is a now song, you all, like within the last 5 years. And this song is like every time Lewis sings it, I'm like, how do you get through this song?
Right.
Number one. And number two, like, you must have vocal cords of steel.
That's right.
That's right. Is like full throat.
Yes,
singing.
Absolutely.
Like full throat.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah. Yeah, it's a cry. It's a literal cry. It's a yell. Yeah.
It's a holler.
It's a holler.
Stephanie. Serenity's lows. Like, especially what she did in the rehearsal. I was like, Serenity, 16 years old. You got control over your low voice.
Right.
That's crazy. I said, the thing that I loved about Bree has this freak of nature. And Bree, when I say that, I say it in the most endearing way.
It's a good thing.
It's a freak of nature voice where the way she sings through the different breaks in her voice is exemplary.
Absolutely.
It is exemplary. Bree, just know this. What you can do naturally with your voice or something that you've trained your voice, whether with a teacher or yourself, to do is to sing through the different breaks. So your chest to your mix, to your head, I wouldn't even venture to your whistle, which you probably have. It's seamless.
Yeah.
There's no breaks.
No.
So people use the term breaks in their voice because there usually is a definite or definitive break.
Surely.
She just sings right through
I know.
I said, it's crazy how Serenity knows her voice so well at such a young age. We've seen this with a few of the younger singers over the seasons. And I've come to a conclusion, Stephanie, that if you are going to be a singer under the age of 18, you better bring it on this show.
You better.
Have to be a truly special singer.
You better.
Because this show has no age limit.
That's right.
So you're competing with 50-year-old 50-year-old pros.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have a special, special voice. And that to me is what Serenity has.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but something that Brie did to me when she opened up her voice and you heard the top part of her voice, I said, that was just some of the most glorious singing of the night. It was not only glorious because it was beautiful, it was glorious because it was unique.
Yeah.
She had this beautiful, unique sound, not even tone, just a sound that she produced up top. On the polar opposite, I loved the soft, quiet nuances that Serenity had in her.
Mm-hmm.
The soft parts is where I was really drawn into Serenity.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with the coaches. I was like, well, what is it? I said I felt like Serenity was more emotionally attached, but I just feel like Bree's singing is just PhD because of what she can do when she sings through the different parts of her voice.
Right.
Stephanie?
So for Serenity, again, just beautiful. I loved her performance. That beautiful tone, those rich lows, those quiet moments, those Rihanna moments, when Rihanna sings her ballads. That's what she reminds me of a lot. Brie. For Brie, I was like, come on, choice. I just felt like she was come on choice like throughout the whole performance. I heard Celine Dion. I don't know if that's correct, but that's who I heard. I was like, Celine? I was not expecting that, but I have to remember that we did not get to hear a full Brie in the
Brie. I was trying to remember. I was like,
we didn't get a full Brie, so this was our first full Brie.
For a second, I thought Brie was Jackie, right? Who we get to hear.
Oh
later.
No.
I said, no. Someone who we didn't get to hear.
Right. So when she went up the octave at one point in the performance, I was like, oh, you got that? Oh, that's what we doing. Well, that's what we doing in this battle on today. So I actually disagreed with the judges. I thought that they both brought emotion to the performance. I actually thought that Serenity brought too much emotion to the performance because I felt like it affected some of her vocal.
Good point.
I felt like her vocal broke in some spots because she was emotional. And I'll share why they were emotional in a minute because Brie kind of gave us a hint, or she let us know on Instagram why they were both so emotional. I thought that Brie's emotion was controlled. I felt like she brought emotion, but in a controlled way, so it did not affect her vocal. So I really didn't appreciate how the judges kind of made it out like Brie was not being emotional enough. I just think that in contrast to how emotional Serenity was,
right?
Yeah, it was different. So before I say who went home, who stayed, I will share that Brie shared on Instagram that their performance, by the time their performance was filmed, there were no playoff passes, there were no saves. So they both knew that one of them was going home. There was not going to be an opportunity for either one of them to be saved. So that is why they were both additionally emotional, if it seemed that way.
Yeah. So who did we have?
So Serenity won. Chance chose Serenity to win, and unfortunately, Brie was sent home.
Yeah, I loved Brie's contribution this season. We didn't get to see that much, but I'm so glad she got a full showing in this battle.
Yes,
because her voice is really special.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, great. Who do we have next?
So next we had a quick clip from Team Chance. We had Dani Stacy, and she sang "I Will Survive" in an alternate arrangement in her blind.
Yes.
Versus
she was the first.
Yes.
She was the first.
Yes.
First artist.
Yes.
That we saw.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was versus Cory Curtis, who sang "Waiting on the World to Change" for his blind.
Yes.
Their battle song was wild. It was wild. Like it makes me want to cuss wild.
Right.
It was the best part by Daniel Caesar featuring her. This is a wild choice, y'all. Like this is not, I'm sorry. This is not in either one of their wheelhouses, particularly Mr. Cory. I was like, no wonder this is a quick clip because this song, it would have taken a miracle to make this really work for Cory, I think. Now, I didn't, of course, we didn't get to see the full thing, but I was just like, this is a wild choice.
I know.
For
When I
both
saw
of them.
what was chosen, I was like, really?
I had to rewind and go back, rewind, and be like, wait, what? Best
you gotta
part?
understand the context of this song. This song is like the today perennial R&B wedding song, right? Like,
Right.
because the song is not an old song, right?
Right.
It was made in the 2020s, so it's not old. So it's not like a
No, it's not a classic.
It's not a classic.
It's a now-ish song. This is not a classic
instant
R&B whatever song.
But
this is a now-ish R&B song that you would never look at these two and be like, let's give them best part.
Yeah.
Like, come on. So anyway, can't talk much about it. Dani won. Dani's off to the next round. Cory, bruh.
I know.
Best wishes to you, bruh.
Really? Yeah, I'd love to hear like how this got selected. And,
yeah.
And I like Stephanie, I was a little perplexed.
Yes, very, very.
Okay, great. So who do we have next?
Next up was from Team Dan and Shay. We had Ducote, Talmage versus Ryan Coleman, and they sang A Rock and a Hard Place by Bailey Zimmerman.
So we have, another set of country dudes. So this was, second set of country dudes this evening.
Right.
This evening of battles.
Right.
Immediately I was like, okay, I'm going to ask Stephanie, but then I got confirmation from Dan and Shay. I thought Ducote's pitch was a little off in the beginning.
Yes.
Of the song.
Yeah, it was.
And then I felt when Ryan came in with that rhythmic, that singing that we always talk about is so difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost like a rap.
Yes.
But, it's a country song, right?
Right.
But like I said, thin line between genres of music. I thought Ryan settled Ducote down with his singing. I felt at that point, so that's why I felt, and I wrote this, I'm flip-flopping the way I put this in my notes. I felt Ryan elevated this performance and really kind of set Ducote straight on showing the best part of Ducote singing.
That's right.
In his voice. I said Ryan's rhythmic singing came really super strong. I said, but then Ducote was there to battle and has been there to battle since the beginning.
Right.
I even think to me, he even has his game, like just his whole presence is like, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this. I may not be the best singer on this show, but doggone it, I got pizzazz. I'm good enough.
Yes.
And I'm not going to let you take your eyes off of me.
Yeah.
That's the approach I think Ducote has. And you got to say something he's got that fight in him.
Yes.
I don't know if that's to do with him being a EMS firefighter or what, but I just think he's just got that fight in him.
Yeah.
I felt like through the entire performance that Ryan had just a little bit more polish.
Yes.
To his sound.
Yes.
And I felt like the harmonies were amazing. And that was, again, in my opinion, from Ryan. I felt like he was always tuning it. Again, I felt like he kind of put Ducote, because he knew Ducote was a strong performer.
Yeah.
I felt like he kind of put Ducote on his shoulders to kind of elevate him into a little foreshadowing. But that's what I felt. Stephanie, I'd love to hear your take on this one, because I was like, this is the one when I watch it. It's like, what is Stephanie going to talk about with this performance?
So for Ryan, I thought Ryan was the more natural performer overall, vocally and performance-wise. I love the texture to his voice. It wasn't too much. It wasn't too little. It just seemed perfect, especially for this song. He had way more control. Like, I felt like overall, Ryan was more smooth and more controlled. Ducote, I love his grit of his performance and of his voice. Like, he just had like every opening phrase has like the, in
Yeah.
it. And, at this point, it's like, is this him putting that on his voice, or is this just his voice? I think it's just his voice.
That's his fight.
And I love the rock, the grit in his voice. But he is the way less more polished in his performance and in his vocal. I love their blend together, though. Like you said, I really, really like their blend together. And also, I have to point out that in the rehearsal, they kind of played with the idea of whether they were going to play their guitar or not. So kudos to both of them for being able to handle being on the stage without a prop of their guitar, like just having to perform with their bodies. I felt like Dan and Shay got this one wrong. I will let you know that Ducote went through. And I thought that they put him through because he was the more flashy performer and his voice was more flashy.
Yeah.
For me, I would ask Ducote to tone down his performance at least a bit. Every performance, the two performances that we've seen him, he has his head cocked to the side and he has this he looks like he's going to kill me. And like, I appreciate
fight,
like that's the fight. And I appreciate the intensity and the concentration and like the commitment to like taking this seriously, because that's what I really feel like it is. But there's just this look, like this intense look about him where I'm just like, bro, just calm it down a little bit. Just take it down.
Stephanie, you still holding the mic, girl.
Right. Like, just like, let it go. Let it go. Put your head straight, smile, like, So I would love in future rounds to see that side of him. I would have picked Ryan for this particular performance because I do think he was the overall better performer. However, I think that Ducote is very talented, and I think Dan and Shay moving forward will do a great job coaching him to not be himself. Like, I want him to be himself, just maybe a little more of a refined version of himself.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I was sad that Ryan was one I was really, really sad to see go.
Yeah, me
too.
There were
a few people tonight I was sad to see go.
Yeah.
Ryan was probably the biggest one I was sad to see go.
Me too.
Because I thought he'd won the battle.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so we have our final battle of the evening. Oh. This is the one I was waiting for, and I'm going to tell you why. Stephanie?
Okay, I have to admit a couple of things, and one admission I will make at the jump. And I'll say it at the title of the song. We are in Team Legend. We had Olivia Rubini versus Jackie Romeo. Y'all, I ain't know the name of this song. If they would have told me the name of this song, I wouldn't have known what it was, neither, Jackie. You might, I'm sure you have probably heard this song, but the name of it, I was like, I didn't know either, Jackie. It is Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks. Now, if they would have said, ooh, baby, ooh, say ooh, then we might have known it. But I was like,
hey, you didn't catch the title. I wrote Like a Wild Winged Bird.
Listen, okay. That is the second admission. I'll just leap to that, okay? What is it was White Winged Dove. I was yesterday years old when I found out that the words to this Stevie Nicks song was not, how does it start? I would sing as the world we know. That's what I was singing. Not as the White Winged Dove. White Winged Dove? Oh, as the White Winged Dove sing song. That's what?
I've always called this song, and that's why I wrote it like this, because I've always called the song Wild Winged Bird.
I ain't even hear no bird. It was literally as the world we know. Like, that's what I was saying. I was like, wait, what? I I know nothing about the song apparently. So Jackie,
He's Stevie Nicks.
you ain't the only one. I
You
sure
know
know that. Ooh, baby. Ooh, say ooh.
I love this song. I love this song. You know we love Stevie Nicks. We
Yes.
often reference Stevie Nicks on this show
Yes.
because she's an innovator. She's a game changer. In singing.
Destiny's Child.
Gypsy. I love it. Anyway,
Bootylicious.
I said, and I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna stay on this for a second because Stephanie knows how difficult this is. This past Sunday when we sang, I led a song at church, and Stephanie and two other ladies, when they came in on their part, it had to be in unison. And when we say unison, for those of you that don't know, that means everyone is singing the same note, the same line or lyric, same dynamic, so same level in their voice.
One voice.
You sound like
we're one voice. One voice.
Stephanie, when a unison is done well, it sounds easy. Stephanie will tell you when you have 3 different or 2 different voices, unisons are very difficult.
Very. Because
you have to have, as one of our mentors and leaders used to say, big ears.
Big ears.
To be able to match a frequency. I'm going to get scientific with it. You have to be on the same wavelength of frequency as that other singer or singer. The more singers you add to it, the more difficult the unison.
That's right.
All that to say, the unison that these 2 ladies had in the beginning of this battle was insane.
Insane.
I was like, no, that's just one of them singing.
Right,
no,
right.
It was both of them singing. And that's why I'm going to give Jackie the Chameleon Award of this season. Because it was, to me, Jackie, because I felt like I heard Olivia's voice.
Oh, yeah.
I heard Jackie being shifting as a chameleon, like changing colors, changing the color of her voice to match Olivia's. And it was matched so brilliantly, it sounded like Olivia was just singing. Because that's who I thought was a singer, but it wasn't. It was both like Stephanie. So I said, and then Jackie just, oh my God, her voice just, I'm getting chills, Jackie. Her voice just soared.
Yes.
And then I got even more chills because it was like Olivia, Jackie finished her line, and it was like Olivia continued it, and the soaring just kept going.
Yep.
It was just like, this is crazy. I said, Jackie, Romeo, I said, your voice is just so special, so unique, so distinctive. You are one of those singers that the second you open your mouth, you know it's you.
That's right.
You like LaBelle, like Whitney, like you could sing "Mary Had a Little Lamb."
That's right.
And you know it's you because your voice is so distinct.
Yeah.
And it's so special.
Yes.
I said because you have an absolutely effortless, perfect tone and technique. Like she doesn't even sweat. It's scary. She doesn't even sweat. And here's the thing that I love, and I think Olivia knew that. Olivia has such a fire in her voice that she is going to attack anything that she is given. And don't give her a song that's really in her wheelhouse.
Oh my God.
Olivia is that kind of earth mothered, hippie, bohemian chic type of singer.
Right.
So to sing a Stevie Nicks song, she's like, oh, I got this. And I forgot who brought it up, that said, Olivia, the thing that I saw in you is that you're a teacher. The fact that Olivia could have easily been like, oh, I'm going to let this go. But I think Olivia realizes the talent.
Oh, yeah.
And was like, oh, no. I think I'm be doing myself a disservice. I'm going to give her a lesson.
That's right.
Who Stevie, not so much who Stevie Nicks is. I hope Jackie knows. But even if she didn't, Olivia sat her down and was like, okay, let me explain to you this song, let me explain to you this era, and so on and so forth. I said, come on, choreography. There was a part where they were like,
Yes.
And looked in the camera. I said, okay. I said, boom, cat.
Boom, cat.
I said, this one is a very difficult choice. It would have been a very difficult choice for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I also kind of love that Jackie didn't know it, because sometimes it actually helps when you don't know a song.
Right.
So because she made it her own, and I just have a feeling she's gonna make every song her own. But I feel like I would give Olivia the edge because this was her song. Like this was like her wheelhouse, right?
Yeah.
It's like Ash asking the country dudes like to sing. They got to sing country songs, so you heard the best of them. So I feel like you were hearing the best of Olivia. Yeah. But I still wouldn't have been able to choose.
Right. I wouldn't have been able to choose either. Absolutely. So first of all, John Legend, do you listen to the Pitchy podcast? Because I heard you using our lingo last night. He's talking about Jackie sound like fried chicken because she was crispy. I was like, oh, I feel like we've talked about Church Mother's chicken. I feel like that's come upon our lips once or twice before in describing somebody's vocal. And also, he said that Olivia's voice had finesse. Now, I know I used that when I was talking about Mafe, I believe.
Yeah.
So thanks for checking us out, John Legend. Olivia. Oh, Olivia. I loved her on this song. Oh my goodness. The breathiness of her vocal, the finesse, the slide up that she did at one point, the break in her voice. Oh, this was just perfection for Olivia. And like you said, this was in her wheelhouse. But even though a song is in your wheelhouse, you still have to execute. Olivia executed. Jackie gave me like Adele vibes, the richness, the soul, right? It seems like do you sing in church, ma'am? Because you got soul or oil on your throat. Like it's dripping. It really is dripping.
Yeah, I got the stank face. I can't let go.
Yeah, like there was we got to hear that holleration that we were looking for, that we knew that was in Jackie's throat. And just like you said, I wrote down, come on, choreo, come on, because it was perfect. I loved it. It was just enough. They looked like they were having the best time. It was just a wonderful performance. And for Jackie to not know this song the way she owned. And that is just spoiler. I'm excited for what's to come because it just tells me that she's just going to own any song that she sings. So
I love, Stephanie, how we kind of figure out the format of this show, because I was like, okay, they're the last ones. Okay, that means they're probably both going to go through.
But they had me scared because here's why. So John picked Jackie to go through, which good for you, Jackie. And I don't mean that in a like good for you. You deserved it. You sang your butt off. Which means Olivia looked like she was going home. And Olivia looked like she was literally going home because she was at the bottom of the steps, almost past Reba, like almost backstage. And then you cut to Dan and Shay and they going back and forth like, we're going to do it, we're going to do it, we're going to do it, we're going to do it. Pop. So Olivia is now on team Dan and Shay. Good pickup.
And here's why I appreciate that. I appreciate that I thought either of them, for different reasons, could have gone through, could have been first choice. But I appreciate that it was a steal, not a playoffs pass.
Yeah.
Because I want to hear both of them more.
Yes.
I love both of them so much. I want to hear both of them more. So we would have had to miss if it was a playoff pass. But all the playoff passes are gone, as NBC tells us. No. I love that I love that she gets to do another round of knockouts.
Yes.
The knockouts, because that was to me, that was the fire performance of the night.
It's awesome.
This one needed to close the show.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. What an evening. Well, we got one more night to go this week. And is it our final?
Yes, it's our final. Did you see our leak?
I did not. Okay, don't tell me. I know it's going to be one of our girls. I know it's going to be one of our girls. I know it, and I cannot wait because there are two singers in particular that I've been waiting for that are going to be this night. And I wonder if they were paired up. Like, if they were paired up, I'm going to lose my mind. Yeah, okay. So, we'll see you all soon.
Yes.
Thank you for being there with us, contestants. You had another incredible evening, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Well, can I do my closing?
Of course you can.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you had to hit the beach or the pool or something. See if you had 30 seconds to spare for our closing. So don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Pitchy Podcast on your favorite podcast platform so you can be the first to know when we drop a new episode. Also, check us out on YouTube. Search for The Pitchy Podcast and hit that subscribe button so you know when we drop a new video. And last, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at The Pitchy Podcast for new episode alerts, episode clips, and so much more.
All right, you all. Well, we'll see you for Tuesday night, which I believe might be the final round of the not live, but
battles.
Yeah, the battle royale.
Yes.
So we'll see you all soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.